So next topic that we are going to study is versatile nature of carbon. Now, what do you mean by versatile? Versatile means can do many things, can do different things, capable or ability to do different things. So same way carbon has the ability to do these two versatile things. First is catenation, and the second property is tetravalent in nature. Tetravalent nature. Now, what do you mean by catenation? Catenation is a property of an element of self linkage with itself. अपने ही atom के साथ combine करना n number of times to form large molecules, and that large molecules can be in the form of straight chain, can be in the form of branch chain, can be in the form of ring chain. So what is catenation? The self-linking property, of an element, mainly carbon atoms, through covalent bonds, to form long, straight, branched, and rings of different sizes. That is known as catenation. अब ये catenation property किसकी वजह से होती है? The property is due to these 2 points. Property is due to, first, the small size of carbon atom, and second property is great strength of carbon-carbon bond. अब जिनको समझ में नहीं आया अच्छे से सुनो, मतलब कैटिनेशन क्या होता है. हमने बोला कि कार्बन अपने ही एटम के साथ, कैटिनेशन मींस व्हेन अ एटम कंबाइन विद इटसेल्फ टू फॉर्म अ स्ट्रेट चेन कंपाउंड्स, टू फॉर्म अ ब्रांच चेन कंपाउंड्स, सो दैट इज नोन एज कैटिनेशन. जैसे कार्बन अपने ही कार्बन एटम के साथ कंबाइन कर रहा है यहाँ पे स्ट्रेट चेन कंपाउंड फॉर्म करने के लिए. देखो ऐसा स्ट्रेट चेन, कार्बन अपने ही कार्बन एटम के साथ देखो n टाइम्स कंबाइन कर रहा है ना. So this is known as catenation. This property आपने कभी ऐसे देखा है हाइड्रोजन 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 हाइड्रोजन? No, because this property is not shown by this hydrogen atom. Some unique elements only has that property to show catenation, and carbon is one of them. So when self linkage of an atom with itself is known as catenation. Same way it can form branch compounds also, branch chain also. So this is a branch. Branch compound. So this property is known as catenation. Same way it can go for ring form also. So branch we have seen. Next form is ring form, ring chain form. So carbon can attach with the carbon atom to form ring. So they have the particular names also. What is the name of this compounds that we will study further in the nomenclature of carbon compounds. Ring form. So this was the first versatile nature. The second versatile nature is tetravalent nature. Tetravalent in nature. Now, what is tetravalent nature? We all know that carbon has how many valence electrons? Carbon has the valence electrons 4. Therefore, its valency is also, the carbon has valency of 4. So it has valency of 4. That means it is capable for forming 4 bonds either with the carbon atom itself or either with any other hetero atoms. या तो वो अपने ही एटम के साथ मैक्सिमम 4 बॉन्ड बनाएगा, ठीक है, उससे ना ही कम ना ही उससे ज्यादा, अपने ही एटम के साथ या फिर किसी और एटम के साथ. हेट्रो एटम्स मींस डिफरेंस. हेट्रो मतलब डिफरेंट. सो इट इज कैपेबल of bonding with 4 other atoms of carbon or some other heteroatoms या फिर कुछ और other heteroatoms के साथ by with single bond या फिर double bond या फिर triple bond. With single, double or triple covalent bond. For example, you can see. So here the carbon is forming how much bonds? कितने bond बना रहा है maximum? एक carbon atom 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. उससे ज्यादा नहीं बनाएगा. याद रखना, ना ही उससे कम. So you can see over here, carbon is forming how many bonds? 1, 2, 3, 4. This carbon is forming how many bonds? 1, 2, 3, 4. So tetravalent in nature. These are the 2 versatile nature of carbon. That is first is catenation, self-linkage of an atom with itself to form either straight chain compounds, branch chain compounds, or ring chain compounds. And next property is tetravalent in nature. That is, carbon has 4 valence electrons, so it is capable of forming 4 bonds either with the carbon atom or either with any other atoms, either by single bond, double bond, or triple bond. Next topic is hydrocarbons. Now, what do you mean by hydrocarbons, students? Compounds containing carbon and hydrogen. Compounds containing carbon and hydrogen. That is known as hydrocarbons. Compounds of carbon and hydrogen. They are known as hydrocarbons. For example, CH4, that is known as methane. This is your hydrocarbon. C2H6, that is known as ethane. Now, how it is known as ethane, how it is known as methane, that we will study in this. ठीक है, nomenclature में हम पढ़ेंगे. C2H4, ethene. So these are some of the example of hydrocarbons, compounds of carbon and hydrogen. जिस भी compounds में आपका carbon और hydrogen का बना होगा, उसे हम बोलेंगे hydrocarbons. Now, hydrocarbons are been further classified into 3 types. Hydrocarbons को हम further classify करते हैं 3 type में. Saturated hydrocarbon, unsaturated hydrocarbon, and aromatic hydrocarbon. They are being further classified into three types: saturated, unsaturated and aromatic. Saturated में हम स्टडी करेंगे अल्केन्स, अनसैचुरेटेड में हम स्टडी करेंगे alkenes and alkynes. Alkenes has general formula CnH2n plus 2. Now how to solve this, that we will see in detail. Alkenes has the general formula CnH2n and alkynes has the general formula CnH2n minus 2. And for aromatic hydrocarbon, you have only one example till now for your 10th standard, that is benzene. That is benzene. So hydrocarbons, on the basis of bond between them, they are being classified into saturated hydrocarbon, unsaturated hydrocarbon and aromatic hydrocarbon. And saturated hydrocarbons के अंदर आता है आपका alkenes. Unsaturated hydrocarbons में हम study करेंगे alkenes and alkynes. And your aromatic hydrocarbon means benzene. So let us see them in detail. Saturated hydrocarbons. What do you mean by saturated hydrocarbons? Now this part has been deleted from your portion, but alkenes, alkenes and alkynes, we should know what are they, because nomenclature, naming of organic compounds is based upon this. That is why we have to study this. Saturated hydrocarbons are those hydrocarbons which contain single bonds only. आप उन compounds को saturated compounds बोलोगे जिनके बीच में सिर्फ आपको single bonds दिखेंगे. Those hydrocarbons which contain single bonds only are called saturated hydrocarbon. उन्हें हम बोलते हैं saturated hydrocarbons. As I said you, example methane. Methane means CH4. So it has generally single bond around it. Ethane, C2H6. So this also has single bond around them. So इसे हम बोलते हैं saturated hydrocarbon. Now in saturated hydrocarbon, we were studying alkenes, right? What we were studying? We were studying alkenes. Now, alkenes have general formula. CnH2n plus 2. Now, what is N over here? N is number of carbon atoms. What is N? N is number of carbon atoms. And while naming of the compound, you will use suffix. Suffix means after the name. At the end, suffix means after. तो alkenes का suffix है ANE. Alkenes has the suffix ANE. What is the suffix of alkene? Alkenes suffix is ANE. And alkenes has the general formula CnH2n plus 2. All the compounds in which carbon and hydrogens are attached with single bonds. So what are alkenes? All compounds in which carbon and hydrogen are attached with single bonds only. ठीक है? They are called alkenes. They are called alkenes.